And welcome, folks, to the talk show. Let the truth be told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And folks, we got a great conversation today we're going to have. We're going to talk about the SNAP benefit requirements. And also, we're going to talk about the overtake of the Somalis in Minnesota and how they've gained and stole billions of dollars from the American people. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in. And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And first, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making it possible for me to be here and those who are listening. Well, it's that time, man. I just don't understand it. It's a couple of things that, to the American people and patriots across this country, that we need to discuss. Now, this thing in Minnesota is getting sort of out of hand, I think, and Ilya Omar has always been a militant person. And when she came to the United States, she came illegally, and all the bad things that are here. But to the American people and patriots across this country, I want you to know this. This is not a time for the American people and patriots across this country to start feeling soft and acting like what's about to happen in Minnesota don't need to happen. Billions of dollars from the taxpayers have been stolen. They brandish their arrogance in doing it. And now that Trump has stepped in, the whole game done changed, and people are getting all upset. And they want to ask black people. They saying to black people, the Somalis took over a whole state. And they used to do it through coming through the black community. Now, one dime that they stole benefited the black community in no kind of way, but just to be able to take over the properties and push black people to other places. So to the Somalis, no, this ain't our fight, dog. Y'all got to roll on your own with this one because you created this mess. And they're saying, now let me get my team in. Y'all hang on. Hey, Doc, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Randy, Lucretia.
Oh, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Now, before we get to the juicy part of the show now, we going to start with something that's going to ensure that the American people, that you don't have to worry about your SNAP benefits, but there is going to be some change. Okay, so let me say this. The changes that is being made to the SNAP benefits was created by Bill Clinton. Back in the day, Bill Clinton created a program that required people who was on SNAP, if they were able-bodied people, to get a job, go to school, get in some kind of trade, to continue to get the benefits.
Right.
Now, that was a Democrat who created this. Bill Clinton did this, right? So
Yeah.
black people we have still voted for him and complained about it. But you know what? They did what they had to do. So when Barack Obama wanted to enable himself by acting as if he was going to love black people. And what he did was rescinded the program to where anybody could be on it. Thus, the Somalis got on it, and everybody else, Tom, Dick, and Harry, got on it and abused it. And yet black people was the poster child of abuse every time something happened with a black person and SNAP benefits and welfare. But as you've seen from previous shows, that the Afghans getting the money, the Somalis getting the money, everybody's getting a percentage of the money from SNAP benefits, and black people in the low 20s. So how is it it's always a black person's problem when it comes to SNAP and welfare, and they target us as the poster child who are complaining? Your thoughts, Doc?
Well, it's always easier to blame the dog that you keep kicking. I'm just saying, we were always the ones. Like, we'll get blamed for it, and then we have other people trying to hide and pretend to be black to be victims, and that's what the Somalis are doing right now. And it's super crazy because, see, in 1996, they actually passed that law where if you were coming over here legally, right, as an immigrant, you couldn't receive any benefits. But see, now the workaround was, now if you're a refugee, if you're an asylum seeker, if you have temporary protected status, if you are paroled in the United States, then you can get all the benefits. That's the problem. And it's on purpose. Okay, the replacement migration situation is on purpose. Can you believe that the Somalis actually determine who becomes a politician in the state of Minnesota? They have let them become so large as a voting bloc that they determine who's going to be in office on American soil. They have to go. Everybody. I'm talking about women, children. If they were born on this soil, they got to go.
Yep. Your thoughts, Randy?
I am 100% on track with Dr. Shack, because back, I look at it like this. For Minnesota, that needs to be iced. Just saying, just close all operations everywhere else and just send all the ICE agents to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And that probably won't be done. That probably won't be done overnight. But to the other point, you're absolutely right that when immigrants came to this country, they came with the understanding that they won't qualify for anything. You don't get help, you don't get assistance, none of that. Even a refugee program was skewed and abused. So I say that for that program, it's like, hey, you get limited, you get this stuff for maybe a year, get you situated, and then from there, hey, you're on your own, or you go back to your country. You figure it out. Yeah. Because in the military, when we dealt with refugees, it was women and children. If you were a male, if you were a military age male, you did not qualify for refugee status. You stayed your ass in the country and you fight for it. And we lost that. I don't know why that changed, how it changed, but it needs to go back to that status. So that's why I'm in
Lucretia.
Oh, it changed in 2000. When was it? The resettlement program. When Barack Obama started that refugee resettlement program, this is when him and the powers that be doing the Logan Act all around the world got together and said, you know what, open all the borders and watch you see that the Democrats will forever have a voting bloc. But my understanding, because I love, social studies, I love civics. If you're a refugee or you're trying to become an American citizen, you can't be a burden to the American system. You can't break our laws. You have to have allegiance with us. You have to assimilate to our way of life. Not here and erase the American flag and put up a black flag. Number one, they need to be iced.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because even in Minnesota, they have they made part of the Somali flag part of the Minnesota flag. There's a new flag.
Man, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, what really gets me hot under the collar is the fact that Black people do not have the opportunity to get in so deep to a place where you can steal $1 billion from a program.
Oh, yes, they do.
But let me finish what I'm saying.
They did it in 4 years.
The Negroes steal the money, but the money is not spread around in the Black community is the point that I'm making. See
Yeah,
how
her
the,
name
Right.
is Stacey Abrams. Her
see
name
how
is Stacey Abrams. She
all right.
literally busted with running through 2 point some odd million that was dropped in her bank account on the last week of the Biden administration. But then if you look at all the races that she tried to do down here in the state of Georgia for the last decade, and her sister being a federal judge, honey, yes, that is an overseer. That's the one that got the whip saying, "Massa, massa, these black people are running out the plantation." We've heard it. We got a big fat black woman down here named Stacey Abrams that is doing exactly what you're talking about right now.
But the point that I'm making is this, and you're putting it to our listeners for sure. Now, see how the Somalis work together? They
Even in
took over
crime.
a whole, they took over a whole state. They took a program and milked it for over $1 billion or more. They got into politics, and they sit back and created a little Somali in America with their own rules, their own lives, everything that they did over there, that they came over here and did, but they was able to steal billions of dollars. The money going to them right now. That money ain't been, they still stealing, hiding money, sending money over the seas, man.
They're not stealing it. You gotta
Mogadishu.
They're not stealing this money. They freely giving this money by Tim Walz. It's all coming out by Ellis, who's supposed to be the attorney general, a black guy who's a Muslim sitting up there with a Marxist book in his hand. All of these people are breaking our laws. They're sitting representatives. So these people are not stealing it. They are fudging the numbers, and the powers that be is going to say, you know what, go ahead and get that money. So no, they're not stealing money.
But
And she's right, because there was a judge that actually overturned an
One of the bar
indictment
cases.
of over $7 million. She went in and said, well, this evidence is circumstantial, and she overturned a fraud case.
Yep.
So they could get away with it. Like,
Yes.
it's not the Somali people, to Lucretia's point. It's somebody behind them allowing this stuff to happen.
But
$300 million with 78 different people. Now you could tie in the governor. Now you could tie in the attorney general. Isn't this a RICO case?
Yes.
Oh,
But the point that I'm making is this. You see how the Somalis got themselves in our country, and they got themselves fixed into a place as a unit so that they could steal and cover it and act like they're citizens and all that other kind of stuff. Why can't black people, why can't black politicians? Hell, if you're going to be a damn thief, take care of the community.
But this is systematic.
And
this
they don't
this isn't just like happenstance, like, oh, we're just happen to come to Minnesota. It's like, no, it was found that they were one of the most generous states when it came to social programs. And they were specifically put there by politicians. This is not an accident.
No.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. This is not an accident. This is on purpose.
Exactly.
They told you in good times. There's a whole good time. So with the Ultraman that is trying to get elected, up in James acting like he's stupid and a fool and giving all these rhymes, and James like, what you gonna do for us? So it's the same perpetrated bullcrap that you're talking about way from the 70s. Now we just realized pimp hustlers and politicians are the only ones that get rich by creating fighting on the inside. So the culture, because I'm not a Democrat, I'm no longer black. So what I care about that culture, because that culture keep eating itself or killing itself.
But you guys are still making my point is because
we are. But I hear what you're saying. It's like people could actually come together and work together.
You know where I'm
we
going,
can
right?
get this done. Yeah.
Randy,
so this is an example. We shouldn't be criminals doing it, right? But we should be working together to do better.
But
it's like this. It's like this. It's like this. You know, I see Pastor's point. The black community, you know, we have this iron triangle, right? Of, you know, your black politicians, black pastors, and those community activists. They know how to get the money. They know where the money is at. And they forge and create these schemes and everything else to get the money to come into the community. But it's not coming into the community. It's coming right into their pockets, into their little circles. And they look at everybody else. They say, hey, well, you know, you just got to wait your turn. You know, just give us some time. You know, we got some stuff to take care of. And Next thing you know, 30 years that went by, and we're conditioned. Now we didn't got conditioned to just wait, and that's the problem with the black community. We're conditioned to just wait on stuff, and then when we get into our emotions and say, oh, well, they're doing it, so we're gonna bandwagon with them. And by the way, we're the black and brown community, and so no, we're the black and yellow and brown community, and now we're the black and yellow and white community. And
people of color.
Yeah, now it's BIPOC. So we shoot ourselves in the face. Not even in the foot. We shoot ourselves in the face every time some kind of existential crap is going on. And we put out, and they say, well, black community, hey, you gonna get involved in this because we need y'all.
Right.
You're the dummies, and you can get some sympathy for us. And we're like, okay. That's what we do every time. And so, like Lucretia, I'm sick of the culture.
but you know what? The thing of it is that
criminal.
It's hot. Exactly. But even though these criminals, there is some honor amongst thieves with them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm a thief. Let me finish this, Christian. I'm gonna get you going. I'm a thief because I saw this with real politicians. I'm going to steal my ass off, but everything in the community is going to be well taken care of. Every household, everybody gonna have jobs. I can guarantee you the schools will be second to none. I mean, everything in my area was like Andy of Mayberry, because that's how I grew up. 5618 Carpenter. I know the politicians as a kid, they were stealing their ass off, but our communities was real communities. Everybody had a job. It was moms and dads, houses, the schools were good, all of that. Even though they were politicians, they had honor amongst their thievery. See, these are the stupid politicians who take the money, who lie, who don't give nothing back to the community, and then when they get busted off, like Stacey Abrams, Letitia James, Alvin Braggs, all of these Negroes who went to bite the bullet for the Democratic Party, then they want to come back to us. You have them going to churches preaching, like Kamala Harris, getting spiritual. Oh, the Lord did it. That's some bullshit. because black people, we need to have to, and we're going to have to wake up to the fact that the leadership in the black community is at the bottom of the totem pole. These other people can come from other countries and create communities and get solidified. That's what the type of attitude the black community is going to have to fight like hell to get the money right and rebuild our community, just like the Somalis built their whole community in the state. They took the state over and they could put it into whoever we want to put in office. Black people, we got the same power, but we just don't use it. Y'all.
Well, they abuse the welfare system. There's even a video that I saw earlier today where somebody was talking about how he's a plumber, right? And he goes to all the HUD houses. He was like, how are these people affording brand new cars and they're on HUD? And it's not like one house. It's like 90% of the houses in the community that are predominantly Somalian. How do they have these brand new cars? Because they're getting the kickbacks that were received from the people, to Pastor's point, honor amongst thieves. And that's all their culture is really based in. Their culture is based in piracy. So why are we shocked that they're living it out here? We made it easy for them. And the alarm was brought to them in 2009. There is no excuse for what's happening
under Barack Obama,
Minnesota right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Minnesota should be now called Mogadishu. And for those that don't know who Mogadishu is, go watch Black Hawk Down. And this was during the Clinton era, matter of fact, you know, and this is a partial inspiration of me to join the military, by the way. And you see that's exactly what's going on. And to your point, Dr. Shag, they're pirates. And they're pirates on land, and they're plundering and pillaging the booty out there, taking all the money and everything else. And the crazy part is, here's the crazy part to me anyways. The crazy part is the Minnesotians, the actual native Minnesota people, American people, they're sitting back and they're just like, oh, okay, that's perfectly fine. You know, it's like,
they're
apologizing.
intimidated.
Ugh.
They intimidated. Because see, once you take over a city government, this is what Mandini is about to do in New York. He's about to have all the Muslims coming in because he won if only 12% of the people in New York voted, and most of all of them was his people. They can do that.
Yep.
See, that's what's killing us as Black people, is that we could never do it because we never think about a unit. Go ahead, Lucretia.
Can you feel a brand new day? New day. Oh, do it. They can't do this. That's why they pushing back and crying right now, because Ice Baby is in Minnesota. He's president is going back old school. So no, it's because that we allowed them to get away with it. So it takes one man to say, you know what, enough of this bull crap. And he's dropping the hammer, and he's doing it the right way, the legal way, and under his command, and they can't stand it. So then you're going to start seeing videos, because I have, doctor, because I saw the one you talking about. They're now, the illegals are saying, we're being kidnapped off the street.
Oh, well, let me, and they're saying that, let's check this video out.
The president has called to end the temporary protected status of Somalians living in the state of Minnesota. The secretary, Noam, has to actually do that, officially begin that process and handle that job. But when that does happen, is ICE going to be going into what's called Little Mogadishu there on the southeast side of Minneapolis?
Hey, Rob, good seeing you again. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so, ICE, obviously, we enforce the laws the way they're written, right? And so if someone's temporary protective status is lifted, which it's happened many a times to different various countries and nationalities, but we're ready to take action, and that's what we do, right? When someone's temporary protective status is lifted, they are now illegal aliens. They're here in the country illegally, and we will go ahead and remove those criminal elements out of our neighborhoods.
What was your reaction when you saw the details of the fraud inside of this community, and just surreal what we've brought into our country?
One thing for me, Rob, is the fact that when you think about what TPS is actually created for, right? What the asylum process is created for. When you think about how many people take advantage of that, when there are so many individuals that want to come to the United States for a better life, yet there's so many people that criminally come here and use fraud or other fraudulent means to enjoy the American dream. It takes away from those individuals that really want to be here lawfully, right? So we do have to remove those elements out of here. And if temporary protective status is lifted for the Somali community, whether it's Minneapolis, could be Philadelphia, could be anywhere, we're going to go ahead and remove those elements out of our country, because at that point, especially the game here under false pretenses, that's what ICE does as a law enforcement mission. We have to ensure that we remove those people from our communities.
Yeah. Joseph Edlow from USCIS here discussing an investigation that they had into Minneapolis and St. Paul levels of fraud in those two twin cities. Take a listen.
Our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies. Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed.
If you run into people like that, is that pretty much a slam dunk?
Nah, guys, your thoughts on that. Go ahead on.
50% of all of them that are up there, their paperwork is forgery, fraud, everything. So just like he said, they are land pirates now, and they are stealing from us. Like you said, stealing from us, giving it to them freely. You can't tell me Washington's not getting kickbacks. You cannot tell me that, when the mayor started speaking Swahili or whatever that language was, that he had his hands greased. You cannot tell me these people are not getting paid for turning the other way.
Doc, your thoughts?
I think it's so amazing, because don't you guys remember when all of the Democrats kept saying they're not getting welfare, they're not getting medical? What are you talking about? And when the government got shut down and everybody got audited, it's all come out.
Mhm.
And
Yep,
there's
yep.
going to be no escaping that you were a part of this criminal activity. It's complete cartel
Yep.
and
Yes.
RICO
Yep.
activity. They're not going to be able to get away from it. I mean, some governors now are going to have to go down outside of them harboring illegal aliens.
Your thoughts, Randy?
I say trace the money. Every link that was dropped, trace it
Mhm.
back, freeze the bank accounts, and
Mhm.
arrest the account owners. That's all you got to do.
Mhm.
Period.
Case closed, and guess what? They're going to be like, oh snap, because once you do a transaction for like say $100,000, that money has a trail, and I'm
Yes, it does.
surprised. I'm surprised the Treasury Department didn't get triggered for all these different kinds of transactions, and I'm sure they probably did. What's it called? SAR, Suspicious Activity Report.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm sure some of
Yep,
that probably
exactly.
got triggered. It probably got triggered, and they probably
Yep.
ignored it because it was coming out of Minnesota. So
Yep.
even
Yeah,
the
and see,
Treasury
the stay
Department is probably
behind.
complicit. Yep.
Exactly. There's a lot of stay behind. See, they did not
Yep.
mass fire everybody. I would have been like, I'm gonna fire you. I don't care.
Yep.
Sue
Well,
me. What you gonna do?
All
that's
All of
that's
it.
going to be the argument. See, this is why I say the 14th Amendment is going to come into play because the Somalis have been there for some period of time. A lot of them have had babies on the soil, okay? And so now they're going to claim that they're American citizens. All the Democrats are now going to start saying, well, Minnesota, they're citizens. They've been deemed illegal. Now the Democrats got another distraction to fight with, while still yet the Black community is being totally ignored as if we don't exist, but they're expecting for Black people to jump in and help the Somalis. Your thought, Lucretia?
Well, me? You want me to be honest? Oh, all skin
Yeah,
folks.
that's what this is about, ain't it? Let the
All
truth be told, be honest.
All skin folks ain't kin folks. That I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't finna take up nobody else's burden when I've already got out that trap. So all skin folks ain't kin folks, and I consider y'all kins because, like you said earlier, we ain't living in that time anymore, and we're not them. We're not. We know wrong from right. We ain't trying to get our palms greased. We are not going to be equally yoked with a community or a group of people that want to be stuck in poverty. God told us not to. So if they don't listen to what we have to say, we knock that dust off our feet. We make another community because the Black ones, I guess they're going to be having them niggers vote for the next 200 years. But me, I already been heard, I've already heard that. God didn't tell me to wait my turn because I'm not a part of that community. I'm part of his community.
But I'm still amazed of how, and this shows you when you unify, when there's unison in things, it can work. Even though it was a criminal enterprise, it still worked because it's been going and still going to this very day. And money is going out, taxpayer money is going out the back door of Minnesota like a person that's got on a laxative, okay?
You want that euphoria that you're talking about, that utopia that you really want to see? We call that Fulton County, Georgia. And as you see right there, that ain't working out either. And that's all black.
Horrible.
And that's still my point, because Black people never can unify to do anything good, nor can they unify to do anything bad when it's always. But I'm glad it's set up like that, because once they get caught, that's it. But
yeah. And it's to remember that just because someone has melanin in their skin does not make them an American Negro. Let's just be clear. Let's be clear on that. Just because we share melanin, you and us. You're not us, because we actually do have morals and values.
Well, you know, with that, you know what? You know, when I started this show off, we started off. See, what Black people don't realize is the level of deception that Barack Obama created for us. He mesmerized Black people with the Dr. King speeches, and he wasn't even a man.
Yeah.
He played the role as a good father with a husband, and he was married to another man, and the kids ain't his.
Ouch. Well, no lie detected.
And the sad thing of it is there are Black people who know these things. It's been in the media. This ain't just some pastor saying. This already been proven. And black people still are taunting the Obama bill. Well, y'all, Mr. Obama is trying to get the hell up out of America right now, because I heard words that he's trying to move to another country, and he's doing a lot of shifting right now because the walls is closing in. But the point that I'm making is this, guys.
You ain't finna say something like that and just skirt over that.
She was like,
I'm gonna come back to it
and talk about this. Excuse me, sir.
Well, listen, let me lay the groundwork for you, because see, if I had my hands in the murder of a chef, a choir director, and anybody else, Joan Rivers, and anybody else who knew the secret that Michelle is a man, then I would be worried like hell too, because it's coming out. People are, the people that he thought that he would never break the silence, it's already broken. And so I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. Your thoughts, Lucretia? You've been waiting down there with your arms are swinging. That's your boy.
Me personally, a Crossfire Hurricane. Me personally, fundamentally changing America. Me personally, wiretapping all 328 million of us. Me personally, going ahead and changing the rule of the game and allowing, Muslim Brotherhood and CAR in here. Me personally, thinking that he went against his oath of office and one of the biggest traitor of seditionists of our lifetime. Me personally, don't believe he was born the way he said he was born, and me personally think that Elon Musk is more of an African American than Barack Hussein Obama. He just damn confused. Oh, drop in.
Randy, you next.
I don't know how to follow that.
But wait a minute, she's not lying either. She is not lying. It's all true. It's
all true. It's all true. For Barry, for Barry Sorrells, for those that don't know, that's his name.
That's his name.
But for Barry Sorrells, he should leave the country. Go back to Ghana, or go to Ghana, and live the remainder of your days out with your family, and all is well. Because the damage has been done at the end of the day.
Yes, he has.
In the United States, and a lot of people are still reverberating from that, from the Barack Obama years, and it's gonna take a lot of I guess you could say election cycles to pass, and the action to correct those things that have happened to get the American culture back on track to pre-Obama era. That's what it's going to take. I mean, we're not even there yet. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface. What President Trump is doing is totally outside of correcting course of the American the American society. It's just it is what it is. This is where we at.
Yeah. It's like walking through, hot mud. It's bad. Okay. And I not to skate over what Barack Obama did, but it's almost like everything he did is a distraction. But I appreciate everything President Trump did when he came in. He said there are two genders, right? So he's really set the stage to reverse course. We just have to stay on course and not allow people's ideology, right, to override policy, because that's what Barack Obama really did. And just to kind of take it back, Minnesota is actually on the list of the 21 states refusing to be audited. Yes. But guess what? The USDA is going to withhold any SNAP benefits if they don't get the audit. So I'm just wondering if they're going to try to take them, to task, if they're going to try to, do a lawsuit, because guess what? You can't get federal money. Because you can't demand it. They can hold it up.
Yes. They're saying that, Doc, I'm going to put this the numbers out there for Black folks, and everybody, but specifically for my people, is because we're asleep at the wheel. Our future looks dim because our children don't have one. They're not. We have not shown them how to run a community, or rebuild this race in the future, man. It's sad, and Black people are just sitting still, not moving forward, we seem to have already gotten so far back from what Dr. King and Malcolm fought for that we're no longer relevant. And that's what Barack Obama did to the Black community. He was trying to create it. Not only was he trying to demasculate the Black men in the Black community, which he did a good job of by locking them up and breaking up the families and all like that, but he also left a horrible imprint of homosexuality for the future of the Black family and for young Black men. So he did a lot to us, and I'm hoping and praying that somehow we can start getting some true leaders back into places and power, that we can start rebuilding the Black culture and the Black family. Y'all check, these are some of the requirements that's going to have to happen now, that people like Omar and Obama and all of them screwed the system up to bring illegals in.
Are doing job training at least 80 hours per month. This is all under the One Big Beautiful Bill, of course, that was passed this past summer. And for the people who don't do that, well, this is what's going to happen. They can only receive benefits for 3 months in a 3-year period. This applies to Americans 55 through 64 years old who may have children 14 to 18 years old. This also ends previous exemptions for many homeless people, veterans, and young adults aging out of foster care. Here's SNAP by the numbers, by the way. 42 million Americans are on it, with a majority at or below the poverty line, and in households that include children, seniors, or someone with a disability. Now, according to the Congressional Budget Office, the new requirements are expected to reduce the average monthly number of SNAP recipients by about 2.4 million people over the next decade. Here's Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins talking to Fox about allegations of SNAP fraud and even illegal immigrants using the program under the Biden administration.
Every state, for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with DOJ and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off.
And if you're new to SNAP, these new rules would take effect immediately or at your next recertification if you're already on SNAP. Back to you.
Yeah, this is all right, guys, your thoughts on that?
I love it, and I like
replay
it.
that.
You know, I love it and I like it, because I used to be a SNAP beneficiary, recipient for a short time, because I needed a hand up, right? I pay taxes. Yes. I'm like, okay, it's like getting my own money back, right? But like a lot of these individuals with those refugee programs now ending, that Trump has said these 19 countries aren't allowed in, and we need to get those 19 countries out. Those asylum seekers and all those, look, y'all about to be shut down. So that's going to cut out like maybe 10 million people. I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to it, because it was like 2.4 billion. What are you talking about? This needs to be more than half. We need to be down to like maybe 15 million people on SNAP from 42 million. Stop that.
Lucretia?
It was a bar graph. I was reading about it last night. You do know that majority of the people that are on that SNAP benefits aren't Americans.
Exactly. Yes.
All illegal. So, and I'm about like, dog, that's what that that cultural society crutch is for, when you need it, not to stay there forever. Or most people don't stay there forever. But now that we're seeing that the layers are being pulled back, stop looking at Americans, because we're not the one that's benefiting from the SNAP program to begin with. And the ones that are Americans that get it, they actually qualify to get it. So yeah, that 42 million, trust me, majority and half of that is an illegal.
Yes. Randy?
I disagree with one thing about that, the new requirements, and that is the or volunteer 80 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they could lie.
No, because I know one person who is actually a candidate for Congress who is scheming off of that very criteria.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So I can't make this shit up, y'all. I just can't. I see a lot of things every day as but that So, as somebody who worked for 22 years in the federal government, I still volunteered after hours and everything else, working in different organizations on the weekends and everything else. So, what you're saying is I qualify to get on SNAP. So, can I get some back pay? That's all I'm gonna do.
if you're using your logic,
I'm 100% disabled veteran right now. I'm on fixed income. Can I get some SNAP? But no, they tell me I don't qualify. They tell me I don't qualify. So how is
that's what I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want to disrespect you.
Yes,
I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of reading comments that I am a disabled vet. I am tired of reading comments that I'm an 80-year-old person. I'm on a fixed income, and then y'all are the ones that get denied your due to you.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
This is what make me mad. That ain't right.
Exactly.
They're going to hand it over to somebody who
hasn't
hasn't even paid into the system at all.
Right. Exactly. But I don't run around, to be up at the Social Security office and the WIC office and all that. I don't do all that. I run a company, so but that's the thing though, is if I wanted to get, and say, what, my body's just broke. I don't want to, do anything. I want to just reap off the benefits that's owed to me. I can't, because I'm denied. Why?
Yes.
Because they're giving it to somebody else who don't deserve it, who don't qualify for it. That's the problem that we have in this country. And that's why we have these veterans out on the streets right now. And they're like, well, nobody wants to help me. And it's like, I know.
Well, let me say this. There is money that's in the budget for homelessness. The homeless people just don't ever see it. That money is just taken and put into a different pot of politicians' pocket. And that's the end of it.
And these fake NGOs, these fake nonprofits.
Yes. And so that's why I say it's the leadership that's in these communities that is sucking it dry and putting the money where they want to put it for those people that they want to satisfy in themselves. That's what I'm talking about. Just think about this, guys. Just think about all this criminal activity. Just think if those same politicians would do the right thing by the American people. Do you know how this country would be prosperous right now? It really would. But nobody's doing nothing right. And that's what the problem is. And then we sit here and we got our people on the streets. I have helped people fight to keep Section 8. I've helped them fight to get on welfare, unemployment. I mean, people call me all the time and say, Pastor, help me with this. And I do. And then I'm offended when all this stuff under Joe Biden and Barack Obama and them, they opened the borders and let all these people in here, and black people, they took over a whole state. They've already taken California. They took Minnesota. Each of these groups. The next thing that we're going to have to worry about is Islam, because it's already here.
We're already dealing with that.
And so my thing is, when will black people stand up for their own selves and start to rebuilding our own stuff? This is the time right now. Everybody's showing how separate they are. Every time a black person like me say, well, you know what, we need to separate, they start talking about, oh no, we can't separate. Kumbaya, y'all. We don't want y'all niggas to go. We got y'all.
No, because you just want to use a victimhood. That's what is crazy to me. It's like, we don't see ourselves as victims. So stop using that victimhood whenever y'all's little butts get shown out in the street. And it's like, we need the black people. We need to talk about civil rights. We need to talk about Martin Luther King. We need to do all these things. It's like, stop that. It's like, I'm done with you. Stop being a victim.
That's what I'm doing with this show.
That's the meme with Dr. Martin Luther King on it, and I've been seeing it a lot. He said, "I had a dream, but y'all mofos keep messing it up."
Yeah.
Continue.
To the point real quick though. You're talking about having work requirements and volunteering. In order to get, I would make it a stipulation. I would say, okay, if you feel like you deserve to get benefits like that, you need to work 40 hours plus volunteer 80 hours. And it needs to be documented that you're working 80 hours. That's 120 hours a week that you're out the house and you're doing something productive in society. And if you want those benefits. And, and for the black community, we tend to we overlook all that and say, well, this is what we owe. This is our version of reparations. Our version of reparations. And it's like, guys, that's only going to work for so long. And we already passed the part to where it's working because it doesn't work. You know, and this is why
why are you shocked? Me and Doc been on food stamps. A requirement back then that you get up and show proof that you're working. So now people hooping and hollering that you only was allowed to be on food stamps for a short period of time. You had to be out there looking for work. You had to be out there in school. So this has already been a part of the rules to get benefits. And now you want to hoop and holler because they are enforcing the rules. So this ain't nothing new. If you've ever been welfare.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right.
It's always been that foundation. You get food stamps or snaps. You need to show us that you're working, have a child, or it's only going to be for 2 years. So that's always been Section 8. That's always been the food stamp rule. That's always been any social net, safety net. They just changed it and got lax with it after Barack Obama and especially COVID.
Well,
Wait,
you know
but
what?
they needed to do the replacement migration.
Yes,
this stuff has
that's what it meant.
already happened in the UK, in Germany, in France, in the Netherlands. Like, it is systematic. This is run through the United Nations. This is a whole plan. But we were like the last bastion that they couldn't take down. And it's like, why can't we take down the United States? Why do they keep resurging? Because we actually have a constitution where we don't have to put up with this nonsense. That's why.
Well, you know, and the sad part of it is, where does the Black community fit in the future? If we don't have a stronghold, what happens? You see, this is what Black people need to be thinking about. Why are we worried about all this other foolishness? We need to be thinking about what is going to happen to our community, because there's no more Black communities like it used to be. Neighbors was Black, businesses was Black, everybody, the school teachers. What happened to us is the point that I'm trying to make, is that we are not being considered in the future.
Why should we?
Because let me tell you why I know.
Since 1972, we have slaughtered 3 generations, over 25 million Black babies. Why should we have been shooting each other in a rampant race? Remember, my son was shot and murdered in the back of the head. When we are sitting here and always going to be dividing ourselves and want to be stuck. So when you killing off your own kind and you've killed off over 3 generations, what you going to build up? There's no building up. When you got Schumer to come out here and say, hey, white folks, hey, Black folks, y'all ain't having enough babies. So we know y'all ain't going to be able to reproduce at the United States. So we're going to need a whole nother culture and society to come over here that has 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 babies, and they are going to be the new future. So as long as we give you $20 more in your welfare check, ahead and you shut up, we are going to have a taco bowl and have all these other people to overtake y'all. They look like y'all anyway. Y'all the same skin complexion. So let's go ahead and prop them up, because y'all ain't gonna nothing but be a victim like we made you to begin with. Case in point.
Now let me tell you about your case in point. There was a show. There was a show called Star Trek. William Shatner was.
Oh, you talking about old school Star Trek?
Old school. Now, and when I watched that show, because I was a Trekkie, out of that show, this was a futuristic show. There never was a Black community.
No.
There was Ferengi.
There was a Black person.
They went to other planets and everything. There was not a planet that was Black on the show. Not a one. So this has been a calculated plan a long time. Go ahead, Chris.
Most of us are scared of heights. The other of us, we ain't finna go swimming, so we ain't exploring under the water. And then the rest of us, you know, we ain't finna go up into the mountains. So that's the problem right now. If we ain't gonna go
Randy,
or not, then how in the heck are we gonna get to a whole nother planet?
Go, Randy.
I have to correct the record, Pastor. There was a Black community on Star Trek. You forgot. Worf. There you go. It was a one Black.
That was
guy
later. That was Star Trek Voyager. He's talking about William Shatner.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That wasn't
You had Lieutenant Uhura.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
But
was
you still had
young.
one black. You had one
Yeah,
black.
one black, but then she didn't. They never showed the planet that she came from.
That's
So we have never. We've already. They was figuring out a way to make black people extinct, not to take us in the future. I'm telling you, man. And then, and to your point, Randy, when you said, now there was a dark-skinned planet that had Klingons. Now they came later on under the other guy, but the Klingons had a big old head, and they had ripples all in the head, and they were like
very
animals.
violent.
Very violent. Yeah, that was the niggas. I mean, yeah, that was the black.
Just saying.
The Klingons, yeah, they were big, they were stupid, and they were very violent, man. So black people, we gotta do better. I'm gonna find this clip, y'all. Let me find this clip right quick. This is what President Trump said.
Those people, they have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Walz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country.
For the second day in a row, President Trump goes on a tirade against Minneapolis and Minnesota's Somali community.
Guys, is he right or wrong? Let's talk about
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And they're upset because it's like, why is he picking on us? Well, y'all have committed the most fraud in this nation's history in the shortest amount of time. You got to remember, this fraud happened between 2020 and 2025. They sounded the alarm in 2009 because they're like, there's too many loopholes. You need to handle this. And I'm not saying nobody wanted to helmet, but they needed it. Again, this mass migration is not on accident. The UN has a plan through Agenda 2030. They're just on track.
Yep. Randy?
With 5 years to go. And the problem is we as Americans, like to your earlier point about the Muslim community, they're doing the same thing. So we're on a literal 3-front war within the United States. Within. And Abraham Lincoln, and I know the audience was waiting for me to come with a quote, but Abraham Lincoln said it best: if we are to be destroyed, it's not going to be from outside; it's going to be from within.
Yeah. We need to demand an America First president. We need to demand a new president, whoever runs in 2028. If they're not talking about getting people up off the soil that are here illegally and banning all this Muslim Sharia law stuff and getting those people up off the soil, if you're not having that conversation, I don't want to talk to you. You're not getting my vote.
This out.
I'm just saying.
Rhetoric is dangerous.
What President Trump and most of the public who are attacking our community is not aware of is the success of this great community. And I believe personally that is why we're being targeted, and that's why we're being attacked.
Now, standing alongside those community advocates to support the Somali community here in Minnesota are our elected officials.
Had a hard time for our business, even as you see, no one is entering the mall. So we devastated really what our president is doing.
Yeah, we've also spoken to some.
Okay, guys, I got to get y'all thoughts on that.
They need to go. They need to go. Well, they just don't understand how important we are. 50 to 60% of the residents in Minnesota that are Somali are on welfare. You are not benefiting this country.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Number one, you got too comfortable popping off at the lip. Let's get it crazy.
Let's talk about that.
You ain't finna get on worldwide television on a consistent basis, beating up Donald Trump, and you don't even belong here. And you think because you naturalize that you can pop off at the mouth. No, your Muslim Brotherhood, CARE, CAR, and the rest of your communities, you don't own America. Sharia law will never be compatible with the United States Constitution. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. So, and take your ass home. I mean, go home.
Get off the soil. Somalia is waiting. We're just saying.
And check this out, guys. This is what Ilya Omar said. Check it out.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation.
Yeah,
we
you
are
will.
helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere.
What?
Not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
Let me give you a little life lesson.
All right, guys, your thoughts on this?
She doesn't believe that she can be denaturalized, but what she has failed to realize that in our nation's history in 1907 to about the 1940s, there was a mass denaturalization and deportation of individuals who did not align with our Constitution. And she would be that person because she put Somalia first. She has stated on stage away from Congress that she is within the interior of the United States to prop up Somalia. Okay,
Yes,
she
not our
said
country.
this. Nobody made her. She said this. She gives honor to the president of Somalia. That's who she calls uncle. He says, I'm her girl. Yeah, because he's using you to prop up Somalia. She needs to go.
Here's a few numbers for Black people who never ever really understand the position that we're in. We need to separate ourselves just like the Somalians did in a righteous way so that we can regain our culture. Here, look at these numbers, guys.
The money. Okay.
A lot of money there, and that same type of fraud Kirsten just told us about is exactly what led to an unprecedented crackdown in the state's autism program. Yesterday, 5 investigators revealed 85 autism centers in Minnesota are now under investigation.
Take a look at this graph showing the explosion in this program. This is the amount of money the state has paid in Medicaid claims to autism treatment providers using your tax dollars. You can see in 2017, not that much, just more than $1 million. But you see the gradual growth here. In 2021, more than $80 million. But look at last year, more than $220 million paid out in claims with a grand total of just shy of $700 million. This is what state investigators are now looking at, these soaring costs, and questioning how many providers are doing real work.
So one of the most astounding.
Okay, guys, your thoughts on that?
That was a James O'Keefe video. You know, James O'Keefe, he does the undercover investigation. And they were doing the Treasury Department, and there was this one I'm gonna say illegal. It was a foreigner. I know it wasn't Black. I could tell you that. And he looked at the camera. He said, "Oh, we're gonna throw as many gold bars off the Titanic before Joe Biden leaves office." And I said, "What did he say?" He said, "We're gonna waste so much money every day on scams. It's like throwing gold bars off the Titanic." Was all illegal. I can't say illegals. Foreigners that was actually working these auto pens. A lot of them was foreigners, and a lot of how they not in jail?
They're still investigating. Apparently, there's back and forth. You know, some people are saying the auto pen is legal. Donald Trump's trying to turn over the auto pen. We need the DOJ to do their job, right? It's bad.
Joe Biden was totally incapacitated.
Completely incompetent. He's not like super villain one day on Tuesday and then incompetent on Thursday, and you got people writing books about how
my question to the American people and patriots across this country. Under the Obama administration, under Joe Biden administration, why didn't they uncover this fraud?
They knew it was going on because they were a part of it.
And Black people have to be asking ourselves, what role is this? What is this going to do for us? What role are we going to play in? Because just remember, those were our tax dollars too. It just wasn't everybody else's; they was ours too. So where is the outrage in the Black community about our tax dollars going to these people that look like us, who hate us, but use our communities to get the money that we should be getting instead of us, man? Here, y'all check this out. These are what the Somalis are saying now.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Just pray to God just I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired.
All roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool, we're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu. Obviously, the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit? Even though I can't, like, why am I saying that? Because I'm not even a criminal. But, bro, do you get what I'm saying? I'm tired of London. I'm tired of Northwest London. I'm tired of this whole city, bro. All roads lead to Rome. Bar now, all roads are leading to Mogadishu, Somalia, bro. I'm moving.
Okay, guys, your thoughts on this? They got some arrogant. Go, your thoughts, Doc. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. You say you want to go. This is what entitled people do. Okay, I'm leaving. As you sit in the comfort of air conditioning and a running plumbing, you shout, "I hate it here," as you go to the grocery store that's full of groceries while you live on EBT. Stop it. This is what entitled people.
Exactly.
Okay, you're entitled. You're not going back to Somalia if you don't stop. And that man crying, bro, nobody forced you to get on the internet. Stop that. Nobody's messing with you. Really, sir?
Exactly.
Stop that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Wait, that old nigga he was crying. I don't
Leave me alone.
Just go home.
When you leave, just go home. Just leave. Exactly.
That's it.
And like I said, see, Mogadishu. That little boy, he kept on referencing Mogadishu. They're trying to bring Mogadishu to the United States. We ain't having that, bro. You cannot transplant. You cannot transplant a city or a country from another country into our country. We're just not having that. And so it is what it is. And you know, I look at it like this: the people that are coming into this country, they realize, or they're starting to realize, that we're starting to wake up. And so now they want to play the victim card. Now they want to play the oh, y'all being xenophobic. Oh, you're being racist. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, and oh, why are you like the guy from CARE said, why are you targeting us? You're breaking the law. Hello.
You targeted yourself. A lot of videos that are coming up on my For You page where people are saying, how come Somalis have nice cars and we don't? We've been here like how many generations? We were born here, our ancestors are from here, but Somalis drive nice cars. This whole thing is just making me realize is jealousy. They're jealous of our success because they expect us like to be at the bottom of the bottom, right? And then we come here one generation, we work hard, we save our money. And Somalis are not the only community that committed fraud, okay? Yeah. We're not all committing fraud, okay? Every community has bad apples.
I'll tell you what does not add to our nation's character and integrity is refugees who come here under the alleged plight of asylum and fleeing persecution and then come to the United States to abuse our system and rip off American taxpayers. And as I pointed out, the New York Times, to their credit, it was about 6 months too late, but they did write about how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya. Another scheme involved hundreds of organizations who were reimbursed for services that were supposed to help people at risk of homelessness. Once again, those services were never provided. All of this has happened under Democrat leadership in a Democrat-run state where these refugees, these migrants are coming to the United States. They are abusing our system. They are draining our resources that should be going to law-abiding, taxpayer-funded, tax-paying Americans.
Your thought, guys, about that?
It's insane. It's insane. The amount of money that has been wasted, but the protections that were given, because those were federal dollars. So there was somebody on the inside funneling this. Like I'm saying, the Somalis, y'all are taking the fall for it because you benefited from the fraud, but there was somebody telling you how to do this, and they were providing it from the interior. We need to go to the source of who let this happen.
Randy?
Yep. And I would add to that. One thing that I'm sick of is we're exposing all of these things, but nobody's going to jail. The next breaking news I don't want to see no breaking news saying, "Oh, we found out this." The next breaking news needs to be, "We arrested these people and they're in jail." That's the breaking news that I need to see.
Absolutely.
And so to Dr. Shaq's point, all this money actually to the girl's point, she said, we're not the only ones committing fraud. She just told on everybody.
Right. It's like, why are you saying that? Like,
you know what?
Yeah.
Guys,
the success that she's speaking of, because we're successful. That's the second person that said that.
Right.
They're successful in the fraud. They were successful in stealing the money. That's the only success that they achieved.
What businesses do you have? What resources?
Crazy.
What are you actually doing? That has anybody here bought anything made by a Somalian on this soil since 1990? Go.
And
okay.
No, this is China. This is China.
The sad thing of it is that she was referring, if black people didn't know, she was referring to black people. When she kept talking about, we came over here, we used the system, and we got rich. We sent billions of dollars back home, and y'all niggas still on the bottom. That's what she said now. Basically, that's what she said. We came over here and got over. And y'all are still at the bottom. Everybody come over here. That's my point. That's what pisses me off more than anything, is that we got politicians in office, black politicians in office. All of them right now in the Democratic Party, all American citizens should be in an uproar about what is happening right now. Democrats, Republicans, it don't matter, because we are one American citizens. But this only goes to show to the American people and patriots across this country. This country is divided right now. And this only goes to show, especially black people, how the Democrats have done to keep us at the bottom. Those 21 states that don't want to give up their records, those are mostly blue states, and that's where a lot of black people live at. And black people, we still walking around here killing each other, and everybody else getting rich and boasting and laughing about it, and we going to jail. It ain't getting nothing. Lucretia?
Because we were told to stay out of politics and trust our leaders. That's what we were told.
Well, this is a black mayor, and his name is Melvin Carter, and he's up there in St. Paul, Minnesota. He fixed his lips. If you're wondering why, I would never, unity with anybody that thinks this way. It says that the charges against several individuals for fraud in the state are another example that we actually don't need. These federal agents are not adding value to our community. There's actually doing quite the opposite by providing destabilizing force to these fraud communities, Somalia and everything else. Get that cat off that cord.
ChatGPT wrote that for him, because the whole, whenever they throw in like big words like destabilization, Islamophobia, all those big buzzwords, ChatGPT is writing that because ChatGPT has been listening. It's hilarious that all of these, and see, they're needing to use, again, like I said, using victimhood to hide your criminal behavior. There are criminals there. It's illegal to be in the United States illegally. It's criminal behavior. Like, what are we talking about?
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. Go ahead, Randy.
No, Dr. Shack was spot on with that. You know, people say, well, you know, these undocumented people, they came here, you know, and they're working our fields and they're doing this and the other. They're not criminals. I'm like, let me ask you just one question.
Mm-hmm.
If they're undocumented and they came into the country illegally, what would define a criminal? They broke the law, right? So
exactly.
Like what are we talking at the very square of the root of the issue? They broke the law. They're a criminal just by definition, you know. So people. That's why
I'm hoping that Black people finally open their eyes and wake up and see just how the Democratic Party has used us and abused us, and continue to allow people to get in our community, because everybody just think that it's just okay that anybody that comes here, y'all got to come to the Black community. Like we're the doormat that you come in, wipe your feet on, you know, get yourself together, and then move to another level, and then you start treating Black people like they dogs too. But when you come in here, you're begging, just like the migrants now, begging that Black people stand with us. The Somalis begging, well, Black people, y'all need to be standing with us.
Nope.
But who gonna stand with Black people? That's my point. Y'all just check this last clip out.
The West Shore in Cumberland County with more. What do you have to say? AJ.
Lori, that man that I spoke with said that he immigrated to the United States from Somalia more than 17 years ago. He also says it was unfair for President Trump to generalize about an entire population.
We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
President Trump, alongside other high-ranking officials, discussed an immigration raid in Minnesota this week and paused immigration from 19 countries. Trump targeting Minnesota leadership in a, quote, crackdown on Somali immigration.
Somalian American is not bad. Somebody is bad. As is, everywhere is happening, somebody bad, somebody good, but it's not all Somalian is not bad.
Mohammed Bool, he's lived in America for more than 17 years, immigrating from Somalia.
I'm an American citizen. So the all-American president, who is, my president is Donald Trump. But when you see your president, he say to you, you're bad because you're country and because you're Somalian, that's why you're bad. You feel bad, yes, yes.
Bula works at a local grocery store in Cumberland County. He says his wife is still in Africa and tried bringing her to America since he is a citizen now. But recent actions taken by the Trump administration make that difficult.
He's been here for 17 years.
10 years.
He wasn't trying to bring it. He wasn't trying to bring it.
Go ahead, guys. Okay, guys.
Stop that. Oh, now because this is happening. Oh my gosh, bro, you've been here for 17
years.
17
and you've been trying to bring your wife.
Really?
You own a business, you own a store, and you've been here 17 years, and you just now trying to bring your wife.
No, he ain't trying to bring her. He probably got 5 of them things.
She's already here. She's been here.
Nah.
She's here illegally. That's basically what it is if you've been here 17 years.
Like I said, he probably got 5 of them things and 4 of them on welfare.
Pretty much. I mean, go ahead and marry your sister. Just say that's your sister. You'll be over here.
Bring his fifth
But that's the
wife
play. You marry one, and then the other 4 on EBT. How do you think you get the products in your store?
Exactly.
Like, look, that's the play. That's the game, y'all. There's
Go to Costco, go to Sam's Club, mark the price up. So, I ain't dog. Okay, dog.
Man, doc.
See, there's so many ways to make money with these schemes, and then again,
damn, got him.
What Black people at? Black people, all these, they got all these schemes going where they making millions. Black people ain't scheming on nothing. They ain't even scheming on how we gonna live. These people living on the high end of the hog, and they not even citizens. And then they come over here and they steal and get rich and still say, well, Black people, y'all still down there. We done made it and y'all still down there. That's the attitude.
A whole bunch of us know that they will body slam us quicker and snatch us out of the car just by waving. So there's a difference between a Somalian and a Black person. Majority of us was raised right, and the ones that wasn't is because deeply indwelled in them, they're never gonna be right. So it ain't about the community, is what are you willing to do for your community? Some of them, they don't give a dang. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Jamal Bryan, Ass Off, Warlock, and I could keep on going. Stacey Abrams, her sister and them. So anytime like the black people, what are you doing? Continue with bringing in hate, pretending like it's 1950 again, not letting it go because that's their fame to claim, and that's the only way they could get paid. If you continue to go ahead and shout civil rights when you really don't want civil rights to begin with, you just want to get paid, just like Jesse Jackson off the death of some powerful people.
Yep. And we're going to play the rest of this clip, and then we're going to have to get out of here, y'all. Check this out.
The Somalian prime minister told reporters the comments by President Trump should be ignored, and his government will not elevate the issue.
This beautiful place.
We tried connecting with the International Service Center in Harrisburg, whose director.
Okay, guys. My question is,
said that he was going to ignore the president of the United States and do
that's
what?
what he said. He tell him to ignore. Okay. So
his own people to ignore the law and order inside of the United States. Is that what I'm trying to understand, Pastor?
That's what they're saying.
A person in a whole nother country said, hey, y'all, don't even worry about what the president or the police saying. Y'all got every right. This ain't going to end well.
It's not, and it's not supposed to. Because see, every single one of these ICE raids is supposed to end in a civilian getting shot, so they can say, "See, they're the Nazis that we say. See, they're the Gestapo that we say." They're waiting for retaliation from ICE. That's why they keep doing this. And I'm appreciative of ICE keeping their wits about them and apprehending these people like they should, questioning them like they should, and doing their jobs. But see, it's not going to stop. That's the thing. And I'm grateful for Donald Trump for just saying, you know what? I don't care. Go in, get these people and get them out of here. And that's how we have to be. Look, we need to call the White House. We need to constantly report everything to ICE. Because you know what, a couple months ago, I reported somebody to ICE in my neighborhood. Guess what? She's not at the Dollar Tree anymore. I'm just saying,
and that is the power. That's the power that black people have, is that they can call somebody and have people removed out the community. But then once that they get them removed out the community, they don't do nothing to fix the community. See, that's what I'm talking about. So, but folks, let me say this. These are I'm gonna get to the move so we can get up out of here. Now, what I don't understand is this. President Trump has been in office less than a year. He has made leaps and bounds to turn this country around. And to the American people and patriots across this country, everything he said that he is going to do, he's fixing it. He's cutting off all these illegals from SNAP. Everybody was hollering about, oh, no, they're going to cut my welfare. You got grown-ass black men sitting around talking about they SNAP and EBT. If they don't get it, they're going to rob somebody. Please get off your butt and get a job. Do something, some kind of work. But black people still going to be sitting around waiting as everybody advances, just like the lady said. Well, we came over here and got rich, and y'all still sitting in the same place. Doc, your thoughts on that and how that affects the black community. We got to get out of here.
Well, you know, here's what we have to do. I want to say there's been, I won't call it an uprising, but I will say it's been a long time coming for black people to really shake the dust off, take the scales off of their eyes, and realize that politically we need to have a seat at the table. And that's not waiting for somebody to invite us. That means going and getting a seat at the table. That means going to the chair and pulling it out and sitting down and saying, you're going to listen to my demands. That takes you getting out and voting. That takes you being involved. There's no longer an excuse to just sit back and say it's somebody else's job. That's what I'm saying. And it is time for Black Americans, and I'm not going to say just Black Americans, the American Negro. Okay, because there's a difference. This flat blackness thing doesn't work. If you're from the Caribbean, if you're Jamaican, if you are Haitian, if you are Somalian, you are not a Black American. You are not an American Negro. Stop hiding under our skirt when people are coming after you for your crimes. Stand with your chest full out like you do when you say how much you hate us, how much we are akata. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. We are tired of being abused on both sides. We are here and we are present, and you know there's a new thing coming in the next 3 or 4 years. That's all I got to say.
Randy?
I would say this, you know, the American people, the foundational Americans, let me put it like that. The foundational American people, you better wake up and stand up and say, hey, no mas, you know, because what we're heading towards is a trajectory downhill. When we have places like some Minnesota, I was about to say Somalia, Minnesota, new Somalia, that's what we're going to call it now. Dearborn, Michigan, that's the other place that we didn't even talk about. We got epic cities being built here in Texas, you know, so we're being overran, you know, and I know people say, oh, there's only 3 places you listed. No, but just look around at all the other states that have these similar issues. Alabama last week, they the city council there in the town in Alabama, they denied the Muslim community to build a Muslim school. They like, nah, we ain't gonna play your games. Get your ass up out of here. So they get it. I need the rest of America to get it. And I've seen this time and time again happen overseas because I lived over there and I've seen it firsthand. You know, and so people need to wake up and say, you know what? We need to stand up to this. We need to stop this nonsense right now because we're getting, you know, we're getting shafted. You know, the benefits, the money that we put into a pot is supposed to come back to us, and it's going to somebody else who's going overseas and all that. All that stuff needs to stop time now. That's all I got to say.
Lucretia?
Basically, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, educating, talking, not shutting up and not backing down. We're going to get out there and we're going to keep a straight and narrow path that God has set us on. And we're going to make sure the next generation and that generation after that. And if I'm alive and still here, I'll be able to hold my great grandchild. I'm going to make sure to let them know what it really means to honor God, family, and country. And there's no other way.
Right.
Guys, I want to thank you for being on the show. Well, I'll call you guys, man. We might have to do an encore show tomorrow. Andre was out. Dre, I hope you get well quick. And Binky, I know you're working. But I want to thank you guys for coming in on the show. And I'll give you guys a call. Have a great evening. And we got to do it and keep the American people informed. Blessings to you.
All right.
Take care, y'all.
And folks, thank you for tuning in to the show. I want to thank my co-host for coming and being with us during this time. I'm going to say something, and I want Black people to hear what I'm about to say. He who has ears, let them hear. In 1619, Black people arrived on the shores here in America. In the Bible, in Deuteronomy, it talks about God's chosen people because of their disobedience, and they will be scattered to and fro around the world. These same people who have been disobedient to God will become slaves to other people in different countries. And God promised his chosen people that because of their disobedience, that they will be subservient to these people across the world for 400 years. 2019 marked 400 years since Black people got on these shores and became slaves to everybody, never being able to sustain our communities. What's left of our communities will be destroyed. Black people are God's chosen people. We're the ones who they wanted to defeat by destroying the Black man, because the Black man is the seed of Jesus Christ. Adam was Black. Solomon and all the great Black leaders, they don't tell you that in the Bible. And Black men, you have to wonder why. You wonder why. They hate us so much. They incarcerate us. We fill the jails. We were the covering of our families, of our wives and our children. And how do you destroy a chosen people for 400 years? You do what has happened to the black man, ripped from his family, incarcerated, enslaved, communities dried up, take the economics out, leave our women defenseless, to try to raise young warriors, and they failed. But God got a remnant. He sees all and he knows all. And when he makes a promise, he gonna keep it. To God's chosen people who I just described, time is up. 400 years has passed. The remnants is in your heart. The remnants is in your future. The future of the black community is about to rise up out the ashes. Because the time of the lack of knowledge has passed. God is about to elevate the remnants that's left to recreate the black community, to restore the black man, and help rebuild the black community. And I'm not talking about making this country great again. I'm talking about black men and women and black families taking back what's been stolen, and that's the world. God bless you. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, put God first.